Hey guys, this is a free tool online that's called SculptGL. The address for SculptGL is on the screen. You can also just Google SculptGL and it will be the first search result. So it gives you digital clay that you can edit to make a 3D model. So this is a little bit different than building with different shapes like you would in Tinkercad or building with vectors and objects like you might in Onshape or Fusion 360. So SculptGL is sort of a fun, intuitive way to play with digital clay. And I actually used it to make this digital model of an animal cell in Tinkercad. So you can sculpt things inside of SculptGL and then add them to Tinkercad. So I'm going to show you how that works here. So I'm going to recreate this cell shape, so it's sort of blobby animal cell shape. So I start off with this nice round shape, and I can maneuver by holding my right mouse button and clicking and dragging. And I'm going to pull up different tools. I could use the tool drop down, but you can also use the numbers on your keyboard to enter those different tools. So if you hit 0 on your keyboard, it pulls up the move tool. And right now you can see I have symmetry set. So if I start making changes, it's going to mirror everything that I do. So I'm going to hit Control Z a couple of times to undo. So I'm going to turn off symmetry. And then I'm going to hold X on my keyboard and drag to make the size change. So I'm going to make that tool bigger and just kind of stretch it and make it sort of an uneven blob to fit with our cell shape. So it's not really a wrong way to do this. I'm just sort of making a very blobby animal cell shape. So I think that looks pretty good. They're kind of oblong. So I'm happy with this sort of weird football shaped object here. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to Scene. I'm going to go to File and Save STL. I could also use Save OBJ. Either one of these two, STL or OBJ, is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and do STL. I'm going to title this Animal Cell Shape and save that to my computer. In this case, I'm on a Windows computer, not a Chromebook, but you could totally download this onto your Chromebook and do this without using a Windows computer. Now that that file is ready to go, I'm going to go back to my Tinkercad window, and I'm going to use the import button, and then I'm going to drag and drop the STL into that importer. So you can see here, it's sort of a large file. I wonder if I scale this down, if it will reduce the size. No. So the file size stays the same. So I'm going to import here, and now it's going to think for quite a while to have this this file upload. So let's give it a few seconds to let that load into Tinkercad. Okay, so as you can see, this pink blob has been added to our Tinkercad scene. So this is the file that I was able to import, and I can now edit it just like I would any shape inside of Tinkercad. So I can use any of those same settings. I can edit the color. I can edit whether it's a hole or not. So when you make that shape inside of your sculpture program, SculptGL, I can easily add it into Tinkercad and then use it as the basis for a Tinkercad creation. So I would recommend you try out SculptGL. It's really fun to play with, and since it works with Tinkercad, there's a lot of opportunities for making custom shapes and remixing them with the Tinkercad shapes as well.